Hello everybody, welcome to the weekly bump for the week of Monday, August 15th. Thank you guys so much for being here. As always, we have three piles. Pile 1, we're using a Sodalite. Pile 2, an Amethyst, and pile 3, a Malachite. So go ahead and take a moment, pause the video if you have to. My light bulb has not come in, so sorry for the dark lighting on everything. But timestamps are in the description box and the comment thread down below so you can quickly jump. And as a quick reminder, any subscriber of any of my 3 tiers on my website will have access to weekly comprehensives, okay, which is like an extra 10 to 15 minutes per zodiac sign. So you get a little bit more detail, a little bit more information, and a little bit more guidance for the week. All right, go ahead. Take a minute, pause the video, select your timestamp, and I'll see you in just a sec. Take care. All right, pile number 1, you guys selected the Sodalite. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look here. What's coming through for pile 1? Wow, that is a lot of major arcana, which is really just telling me that this is a big week for you. And okay, Temperance reverse. So there may be something that kind of shakes you up a little bit that makes you feel ungrounded, maybe feeling a little out of control, feeling stressed, that kind of thing. So it's important to keep that message of moderation. You don't have to give so much to something if it's not serving you well, right? You don't have to give a lot of momentum to something that's not ultimately to your benefit. Now we have the Lovers, and we also have the Magician. Both of these are mercurial cards, right? This is a card of Gemini. This is a card ruled by Mercury. So we do have, right, throat chakra with the Sodalite, that Mercury energy. So I feel like there could be something about expressing yourself or communicating, using the power of the word is going to be super important for you. Honestly, if it's a conversation that you need to have with like a partner or a client or someone that's important in your life, have the conversation. Now, Mercury is moving into its shadow phase, all right? It's in its shadow phase. It's going to be doing a retrograde on September 9th, and it's starting to slow down. So conversation and communication may start to go a little bit wonky. There may be some kind of miscommunications, or maybe not miscommunications so much as misinterpretations, where people may take things the wrong way. But ultimately, it's better said than not said. And I actually think the power of your words is extraordinarily strong right now. So if you're talking to yourself, or if you're journaling, or if you are, well, those are really the only two that are talking to another person, make sure that you say the things that you're hoping will become, rather than saying the things that you hope will not become. All right, so say the things that you hope will become. And keep your line of thought and keep your focus on those things. If there are situations, because I'm sensing that there are going to be things without, like externally, that are not within your realm of control. As a creator, right, Magician, as a creator, we have to remember that we are all creators, which means we do feel the effects of other people's creations as well. Like if we were in some kind of a vacuum and it was just us and we could radiate our energy field, that would be pretty streamlined. But when we're kind of here and someone else is standing right here, sometimes these frequencies and these waves that we emit, sometimes they intersect and they don't necessarily resonate with one another. And there can be tension and create incoherence. And sometimes that can affect your world. It can affect the situations that you're in, and sometimes it's not always the easiest. Now we start off the week with Sun in opposition with Saturn, Okay, and then we also have the moon conjunct Chiron, kind of sandwiched in between Jupiter and Chiron over in Aries. So there may be, for like the next couple of days, this feeling of tension or just kind of some kind of thing. Because I'm looking at this Four of Coins, this is why I'm saying it. Now, sometimes with this Four of Coins, I see it as a release, but in this energy or with this context, I'm sort of feeling it as tension, like even more tension or more clenching. And it's actually a good thing because it motivates you to do what you need to do to get out of the situation, or to get out of that particular thought or mindset or whatever. It motivates you to get out, but it's still a point of contention nonetheless. The Chariot is determined to progress, though. It's determined to evolve. It's determined to improve and to kind of up level in some way. So the Chariot is doing you a lot of favors here. The Magician doing you a lot of favors. Just know that if there are certain co-creations, because I am seeing two people here that don't necessarily create perfection, right? It's not a perfect situation. If that's the case, it will be temporary. It will be a blip on the radar and it will fade. Okay? Page of Wands. Okay, did I pick up the deck upside down? No, I don't know. A lot of reversals just came out all in a row. Okay. Well, we have the King of Wands reverse and the King of Coins reverse. Well, what I'm talking about co-creations, right? There's two kings here coming out. Here's a communication thing. Now, the Page of Wands in the reversal, it's kind of like resistance to taking steps. And maybe the reason why you're resistant to take steps is because there's this lack of feeling sure and secure. And maybe there's a little bit of distrust with some kind of a partner. You may not feel entirely that you can rely upon someone to carry through or carry forward what they say they're going to do. Now, generally speaking, a king is a high quality individual or someone who does have a lot of potential. But with the reversals and the Six of Coins reversed, I'm seeing that we even have the Page of Swords. That didn't register. 2 pages reversed. So even more communication issues there. I just see 2 people kind of not willing to bend, really. Not willing to accommodate or not willing to... What's the word I'm really looking for? I guess that's it. Just not willing to do what the other person wants them to do. Both rigid and stubborn in their own ways. Communication, you may try. I just don't know. I don't know how well it's going to really go with these pages in the reversed position. I'm sensing that someone is struggling with opening up to the realm of possibility. Someone is struggling with signing the bottom line. Someone is struggling with fully committing to something. We do have Mars moving into Gemini this week. So people may feel a little bit more scattered than normal. They may be feeling... tempted or intrigued by other things. So it's like maybe they've kind of led you down some kind of line, and then now all of a sudden they're like kind of veering off the course, and you're like, wait a second, like we were all set, we were all ready to go, we were moving in this direction and everything was good, and now all of a sudden you're like losing interest in this thing and moving in that other direction. Like where'd you go? What's going on? Where are you? Why aren't you present? Why aren't you here? Why aren't you showing up? Like I'm showing up. I am But again, that's a part of the co-creation. You can't control what someone else is doing and what someone else is going through. And unfortunately, sometimes that does affect you. So I do think that you're having to deal with someone else's stuff, having to deal with someone else's change of course. And it may throw a wrench in your spokes a little bit. I've been struggling over the past few weeks with the idea of collaboration. I've really been struggling with that because I just see with all the Taurus and the Aries and the Leo, like this is a time of self-sufficiency. This is a time of really doing things solo and doing as much as you can, not being reliant upon other people, which is not always the best message. I don't always like delivering that message, and it's not always true. But right now, I think it is. Like, if you're a little too reliant upon someone else, you may wish that you weren't. So kind of getting up on your feet, taking that control. That's why the Magician is so powerful, is because you have to, or what I mean is, speaking that word, right? Whether you're journaling, whether you're talking out loud, whatever it is, you have to speak and communicate clearly, understanding that those words are in fact creating realities. All right. And if this is an annoying situation, please do not feed the annoyance. Don't feed the negative aspect of it. It's very likely that through Mars and Gemini, your own course may change. And the fact that they changed their course may, in fact, be one of the best things that ever happened to you. It just, you may not see it or realize it quite yet. All right. So the fact that people maybe are flaking out, or people are pulling away, or they're not communicating and whatnot, I would recommend perceiving that as an opportunity for freedom from something that maybe would have been a little bit contentious otherwise, or a little bit more contentious than needed otherwise. Does that make any sense? Sometimes I get up here and I just start channel, and it does, like, I never thought of myself as like a channeler, but then I do readings like that and I'm like, I have no idea if what I said was understandable or not. I just honestly don't even know. So, okay. Let's go ahead here and pull out some oracle cards for pile 1. What else do you need to know here? Love is all around, the nightingale spirit. Yeah, it's so critical that you don't get locked in, like that you think that this pathway is the only way and that you think that there's only one option. There's not. You're probably being redirected towards something that's going to be much more effective, much more useful, something that you could be even more passionate about, and that will ultimately create more stability. So the redirections should hopefully be welcomed, even if it may be stressful in the short term. Okay, emotions are running high. Yeah, I suspect they are, because that Lovers is involved. A lot of passion comes through there. And the emotion, though, is really what's driving a lot. It's the driving force behind the Magician. As we know, emotions can be, it's one of the main ingredients of creation, of manifestation and law of attraction. Super, super, super important. Directing your emotion towards something useful and beneficial rather than something contentious. Okay? All right, pile 1. Gonna leave you with that. Thank you so much. I love you. Have an amazing week. Talk to you soon. All right, pile number 2, you guys selected the Amethyst. So let's go ahead and take a look at what these cards have to say for you this week. Let's see. Oh, okay. Well, we got them. These cards are so huge. All right, let's just go ahead and split it. Ace of Swords. Okay. Well, I love the Ace of Swords with the Six of Wands because it indicates a feeling of surety, feeling sure, feeling certain, feeling like you have some sense of clarity and some sense of understanding of where things are going and a sense of what you need to do, 8 of Coins. Now, this to me indicates a flow state, which is fantastic because whenever we're in this flow state, there's huge potential for exponential growth, I mean. Didn't mean to put a D in there. Exponential growth. And I'm getting a sense that this is like a very refreshing feeling, right? You're feeling very refreshed in terms of what it is that you're able to do and the level of focus and attention and passion that you're able to bring to something. Because maybe you've been feeling a little passionless or a little stagnant or feeling a little like the external world was not bending or creating those opportunities that you had been hoping to be created. But I don't see you coming up short in terms of efficiency and productivity. I think that there is going to be a lot that gets done, and you'll be able to go from point A to like point, I don't know, LMNOP, like further along than maybe you would have otherwise. I'm also getting a quality of unavailability from you right now, meaning you're kind of behind closed doors doing a lot. You're not accessible to most people. This may have a lot to do with the sun in opposition with Saturn this week. Just kind of just being like, you know what, leave me alone, turning off your phone, sitting at your desk, doing your stuff, doing your designing, producing, creating all the things, and just kind of turning and tuning out the world. And I actually like the Eight of Cups in the reversal because I feel like you're in this sweet spot where you are moving into the unknown, but it's not such a huge process. It's not this big dramatic event or this big overhaul of your life. It's like sometimes we just move into new places and it's exciting and it's comfortable. It just kind of works, and we're not staying still. We're not staying put. We're not holding ourselves back, but we're also not necessarily taking a leap forward that is so great that it completely uproots our entire lives. And then we have the Three of Wands, which is like wealth and prosperity. It's all coming. That this work, this effort, this energy is not for nothing. It's not just doing it for the sake of doing that there are actual material rewards. Now, we often say, and I'm guilty of this as well, I say it all the time, that there are times when we can be more outcome focused versus times when we should be more process focused. When we're focused more on the process or the journey, we detach from outcomes, and outcomes tend to come more easily. Now, when we are outcome focused, though, sometimes that enhances the process because we actually have like a reason or a vision of something that actually pulls us forward. So being outcome focused is not better or worse than being process focused. It's just knowing the difference between when you should be one or the other. Right now, I think you're kind of both, which is awesome, to be process and outcome oriented. You have a reason why you're doing something. You're doing it for the money, you're doing it for the freedom, you're doing it for the lifestyle, right? For the love and the passion and whatever. You're doing it for that, but you're also enjoying the getting there, okay? And so this is like a flow state on steroids. You are kind of getting ahead of things, and you're tackling things, and you're in this solution-oriented place, and there aren't really any problems. Well, there may be problems, but I don't think you perceive them as such. It's not like you're sitting there like, oh my gosh, I got to deal with this horrible thing. No, it's just like, okay, well, something happened and we'll deal with it and fine, move on. And I see you getting on top of things and being kind of a pretty good leader. Now, I think maybe you might not be leading anybody, but you're acting like a leader. You're acting the way a highly successful person would act. You're not, it's like, some people get so debilitated by problems. Like, oh my gosh, a problem. Oh, I'm going to go hide. Sometimes we do that. Sometimes it can feel very overwhelming like that, but not this week. I think Saturn giving the sun a really nice boost of industriousness, like just get to work. Like, there's no problems. Get to work. It's all good. See, Wheel of Fortune. Exactly. This is what I'm saying. Chasing that Wheel of Fortune. Going after it. Beautiful. Death. All right. I love the Knights. They seem to be offering warmth and I want to say support, which is odd. I don't normally see my knights as being highly supportive, but I think they are here to support your Wheel of Fortune. Look, what happens when something with substantial mass starts spinning, right? It kind of like develops a force that kind of sucks things in. I feel like you're sucking in these knights. And these knights could be potential love interests. They could be potential clients. They could be people that are, trying to give your, like the words that are coming to my mind is like, take my money, right? They just want to throw their money at you. They want to throw their time at you. They want to be a part of your 8 of coins. They want to be a part of your work. They want to be a part of what you're doing and creating. And they see the potential. They see the Wheel of Fortune spinning. You may not see it yet because you're here. This is what happens. Like, this is how the Wheel of Fortune kind of works. It's like when you're in this flow state here, the Wheel of Fortune is like really, really spinning with no resistance whatsoever. So this is going on. You don't even realize because you're here, but people external from you, they are just being drawn in like bees to honey kind of thing. And I don't know what to say. Like, you're on this really cool track right now. And I don't see you being resistant to that stuff. Four of Cups reversed. I don't see you turning these knights away. I see you inviting them in, not to the process. Okay. No one is going to be able to interrupt this, but to partake and to participate in the effects of what happens when you are deep in this process. So like what it is you're producing. Let's say this is a dating scenario. This is you working on yourself, going to the gym, eating well, shopping, buying new clothes, like doing your makeup and your hair, making sure your home environment is clean and efficient. And, you're working on yourself. You're developing, you're growing, you're meditating, you're healing, you're doing all the things. And maybe these are people that want to date you. So you can let them date you and you can let them take you out or, whatever, but that's not going to interrupt your internal work process. If you're, let's say you have a store, let's say you have homemade products of some sort. So here you are developing a whole new line of products. These are customers that really, really want it. And that's great. And yes, you'll let them come in and buy it, but that doesn't mean you're going to stop doing your 8 of coins thing. You're still going to keep producing. You're still going to keep designing and pumping out what it is that you're doing. So this is the beginning of a period of exponential growth for you guys. And it's an elimination, as we see with the Death card. There's significant elimination of past stagnation. So your path, like, I don't know, like this Ace of Swords definitely has a quality of like severing. And also it's like, is how this sword kind of comes up through the crown. It's sort of like that human will, like our willpower, being willing and able to just sort of push through things. So even if you feel a little bit uninspired, you're using your willpower to the absolute benefit of your life. Okay, so your willpower is really, really, really strong right now. And your desire to change and transform your path. If you had been having financial difficulties, this is the determination to get out. If you had had a series of toxic relationships, this is the determination to get out. And I see you being highly, highly successful in that endeavor. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead here and pull out an animal spirit card for you guys for the week. We have a rebirth is assured. Okay, well, obviously with death here, we obviously have to have a rebirth. This is you investing in your own rebirth. You are being born again. Nothing is yet set in stone. Yeah, that's why the consistency of that 8 of coins is so critical. You have to keep that going. You have to keep that afloat, because if you stop doing this just because these people are kind of drawing in, then this wheel of fortune is going to kind of start slowing down. And you don't want this wheel of fortune to slow down. You want it to keep going really fast. You want it to keep pulling these things in. I don't know that you're going to be overwhelmed by what's happening. I think actually you'll have a really nice pace, a pace that you're comfortable with, a pace that you know you can succeed with. But the outcome of this story is going to depend on whether or not you stop, full stop, when these people, kind of come in. These are not final and end all be all situations, the knights, okay? They're kind of in and out. So just keep going, keep growing, keep evolving, keep pushing through, deal with the issues, and just keep on keeping on. Okay? All right, Pile 2, thank you so much. You guys know how much I love you. Have an amazing week, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Okay, pile number 3, you guys selected the Malachite. So let's go ahead and take a look at what these cards have to say for you guys. Okay. So I'm feeling like there's a little hesitation. It's almost, I feel like this Ace of Coins is actually a point of validation or reassurance that you really need right now. Because I'm feeling doubt. The Emperor reversed, Sun reversed, is doubting himself. He is doubting his wisdom, his ability. Will people be receptive to it? Will people understand? Will people purchase it? Whatever the thing is. There's just doubt. And he's struggling and will continue to struggle until that Ace of Coins comes in. Now, the Ace of Coins will come in. It will come in by way of words of affirmation, an unexpected source of income, an unexpected opportunity, some kind of, I don't know, like a pat on the back, maybe something as simple as that. Like someone saying, hey, you know what, you're doing a really good job. Like you're like, I'm really admiring what you're doing. Or like, wow, that's really creative. Like, how did you think of that? It's almost as though you're kind of needing the feedback in order to make you feel sure and secure that what you're doing is not like a waste of time, or it's not for nothing. Because when the sun comes out reversed, sometimes that kind of solar plexus chakra can be a little bit compromised, and maybe there is a little bit of shame or guilt or fear, right? Kind of lower chakra issues. There may be something going on there in regards to like really standing firm and standing strong and being in the spotlight. And, with this Leo season, one of the themes that has kind of crept up for me has been that phrase that a lot of people say now of like going and taking up space. Issues with taking up space and being seen and being prominent. And maybe there's kind of a quality of you that is wanting to pull back, and it's not purposefully to self-sabotage yourself, obviously, but maybe you're just worried that if you were to come center stage or you were to come out guns blazing, that people wouldn't respond very well. But I think actually they would. Ace of Coins, and maybe you just need that extra little boost to be like, hey, yes, like we're interested in that. We're interested in what you're doing and what you're selling and your opinions and the wisdom from past experience. Like, yes, we do value that. You are valued as a person. And I feel like once that happens, here's the Knight of Cups. It's like that optimism will start to feel like you're like, okay, now I can really be optimistic about what I'm doing. And it's kind of like a release. I feel that Ace of Coins is a release or a point of relief, if you will. Kind of, I'm hearing like, get back up on the horse. You may have had a situation recently that humbled you, where you did fall off the horse a little bit and they kind of shook your confidence. And you're like, okay, let me take this more slowly this time. I don't know that you need to take it slowly though, although that Sun opposite Saturn may require things to slow down a little bit. But that Knight of Cups, he's back up on the horse and a little humbled, but also a little bit more wise at the same time. He's not sitting there thinking that he knows everything, but he's also willing to enjoy the process. He's willing to enjoy what comes next, and he's willing to share himself. And this is a Jupiterian energy. It is a Pisces card, so that Jupiterian expansiveness, he is willing and ready to kind of go beyond his own limits and offer himself some grace. Okay, the World, yeah. Love that for you guys. 6 of Cups, 9 of Cups reverse, Page of Coins reverse, and I love the Fool with the World, turnover, beginning and an end. I don't think this is a huge ending. It's not some big dramatic thing. We go through beginnings and endings every single day, it seems. But I do think that you feel something fading away and something fading in. It's like fade in, fade out. It's a slow transitional process, but one that I think you are excited for and ready for. I'm looking at this 6 of Cups. I kind of feel like a gift quality. Someone giving you a gift. Someone who is maybe like a peer, like in your peer group. Someone that's around your same age, but maybe a little bit more experienced, or maybe someone who has kind of been where you've been before. And I think they maybe offer you something sweet. I'm kind of really drawn toward the lily or the flower in this card as like a sweetness, right? There's a sweet, kind, loving word or loving gesture, something that makes you feel like it's okay, and you're going to be okay, and it's all going to be okay. And yeah, maybe you got a little bit shook or you got a little rattled, but you're not going to be there for that much longer. Like, you're literally right back up on the horse. That the turnaround time on this is actually quite fast. And this may have to do with the fact that the Sun is going to be making its way into Virgo. Maybe you're kind of feeling the effects of the Virgo Mercury as well. But maybe something hurt your pride. Venus in Leo now. Maybe there was something that hurt your pride a little bit, and it's just a matter of regrouping. Because I look at the 9 of Cups in the reversal, and it's like, well, like maybe you thought you were going to get something, or you thought someone was going to respond in a certain way, and they just didn't. So it kind of dinged your ego a little, or it's making you question your value or question your own expertise. Obviously, again, there's no need for you to question, but I do think you question nonetheless. I kind of am looking at this Page of Coins versus the Ace of Coins. It's like the Page of Coins is where you expect something to come from, but the Ace of Coins is where it actually comes from. It's like while all your focus is here on the page, here comes that Ace of Coins through the back door. Again, maybe it's like someone that you never would have expected a kind word from. Someone that you didn't realize was watching you or paying attention, and now here they are saying something really incredible to help boost your spirits. And you're like, okay, like I'm glad for this. I can really do this now. And I feel like that was the word of encouragement that I genuinely needed. I am getting the element of surprise a little bit like taken aback of like, oh, wow, that's kind of cool. The universe definitely works in miracles in that way. It will give you, Knight of Cups, the Fool, that push for you to be able to like go past the comfort zone and and to jump off the cliff, if you will. It will reinstill faith. It will reinstill your optimism in your hope of a better outcome or whatever it is. It will encourage you to continue to be open. Sometimes this can have a very closed off feeling. You know, he does have his armor on here, whereas he kind of has his heart on his sleeve, and he sort of has his chest open, heart toward the sky. There's a lot more availability here, more accessibility, whereas maybe you're coming out of a period where you just really were not accessible to people. You weren't able to really interact. You weren't able to give anybody anything, and you just sort of had to be there. And now I do think that you are truly ready to come out of that, and this is exactly the boost that you're needing. There is sometimes the world, I feel, is like a divine intervention card coming in and saying, okay, I'm going to take you out of this over here and I'm going to put you over here. You don't really have that much say over it. The reason this is happening is because you have been manifesting things. So it is one of the breadcrumbs or one of the stepping stones to getting you to where you need to be. So it's not that surprising when you think of it from a big picture perspective, but still it may feel a little disorienting while it's happening, but it's going to be ultimately for the best. And we love the Fool because there's so much brilliance, and you're kind of operating from a higher level of intelligence, actually. Yes, there may be a little bit of naivete in terms of the obstacles that are yet to come, but that's life. Like we know that there are always going to be ups and downs with absolutely everything all the time. But yet the higher intelligence of the journey and acknowledgement of the journey is big with the Fool. So you are protected here, right? We do have the dog. There is that sort of divine protection and that sort of loyalty that your kind of higher self has for your own best interest. And this is all for your own best interest for sure. So it's good to perceive it as a good thing. All right, so let's go ahead and pull out an oracle card, starting with an animal spirit. We have, you see clearly now. Beautiful. Love that with the Fool. See, you're back up on the horse. You're a little bit smarter, a little wiser, doing your thing, and you do have clarity. You're coming out of the haze and receiving that clarity, and hopefully that has a lot to do with your self-concept. Right? You're conceptualizing yourself as a more empowered, more creative, more giving, more whatever. You get to fill in that blank, a more whatever person. And that is what enables you to push into this more unknown space. You are good enough. Yeah, that Emperor reversed with the Sun reversed. There's clearly something with the self-concept. Clearly something with sense of value, self-value, and self-respect. You had a little blip on the radar, okay? But it doesn't mean you don't deserve the things that you deserve. It doesn't mean you don't deserve to have success and wealth and love. You do, okay? All right, pile number 3. Thank you so much. You know how much I love you. Take care. Bye-bye.